See you tomorrow.
Shannon.
Come over here.
So tell me a little about your production in the film.
I directed Galadine, and you know, I think it's like most of the films that you see coming to Seattle, coming from the independent film world in Seattle. It's just a bunch of really motivated filmmakers who have nothing but passion, kind of fueling their train, and it's just the way it is, and we accept it. And we know we don't have a ton of resources, but we love doing what we do, and we find a way to do it. And I think that's pretty much what this festival has been all about. So I'm really happy to be a part of opening night.
And can you give me your name again?
My name is Jorge Suarez. I shot, directed, and edited, and co-wrote Galadine.
Nice. And then can you give me your name?
I'm Shannon Suarez, Jorge's wife.
Nice. Thank you.
And I'm the proud mother of Jorge Suarez.
Nice.
Yes.
I am the father. My name is Alfredo, and I am here supervising the kind of work that he does.
Isn't it nice?
Because he's my son.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
His movie. This one here.
Oh, that was a really great film.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, come on in and try our cookie, especially the vegan chocolate chips.
They look delicious. Yeah. Thanks for everything all the time.
Oh, anytime. I
Yeah.
love to.
And it's so nice to come and watch a movie and then come over here and sit down and have a cup of coffee.
Many people doing that, and it's been 50 years already in this theater.
I know. I remember when I was in college.
Yeah, it's many people coming back and bring their grandson.
I know.
Yeah, to show it around, and it's still here.
Everything's beautiful.
Everything is the same. Yeah.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why, like, many people, they have a good memory and they want to show it with family and their pal.
I have a good memory of it too. I used to study right over on this desk over here. Right here, I spend a lot of time studying.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful, wonderful place.
Now,
Right here in the
here
U
is
District.
I remember that building is about like 50. This is about 55, 55 or 54 anniversary already.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, being the movie theater and the coffee shop.
It's really nice.
Yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
they continue for another 50 years.
Yeah, and how do people get a hold of you if they want to find out a little more about this coffee shop?
I'm here all the time.
And what's the name of the place?
Wings. And this place is called Starlight
Starlight.
Cafe. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And we'll check in from you from time to time during the film festival.
Oh yeah.
We'll
anytime.
say hello.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
The film has already started, so we gotta quietly sneak in. And there's Will.
I get to ask questions first because I have a piece of paper.
but I will also open it up to audience questions as well. Why don't we go in order of the films? So that would make Making an Impact our first one. So Andrew and oh, you're right there. Hey, Jeremy, you're right there. Fantastic. Andrew was the director and ended up starring in the film.
Only because we couldn't find anybody else to do it.
Please tell me how that happened.
Jeremy actually can probably tell it better than me.
Yeah, that was my fault, I guess.
Elaborate.
So, as a producer, we've done a lot of projects together, usually for like 48 hours, 72 hours, or 3 weeks in this case. And 2011 was a fun year for us. So, right after the 48, I signed up for this contest, but didn't tell anyone about it until the day before it started. And I was like, oh, Andrew, by the way, do you want to do this? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to Whistler. I'll talk to you Monday. So we were just kind of rushed and did everything sort of at the last minute.
Yeah.
That's some nice guerrilla filmmaking right there. Nicely done. Who came up with the idea?
It was mine. Everyone contributes to the story, but it was mine.
Cool. Did anyone have any? If it wasn't clear, Making an Impact was the one about the crash test dummy who has no job anymore and finds fulfillment with the army. Okay. Alright. So after that was
Galadine.
Galadine.
Yeah.
Yes. So obviously that was part of its bigger story than that, right?
Yeah, that was the whole idea, was to.
And I'm sorry, introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Jorge Suarez. Hello, everybody. I shot, directed, and edited the movie. Yeah, the whole idea was just a small group of people coming together, and very small group of people coming together, just kind of saying like, well, what if we just made a little scene from what could be a bigger story? Because I think trying to pull off a story from that era, you know, to generally with the resources that independent filmmakers have, is really tough. And I think, especially me, I don't know about you guys, but I get kind of down on myself when I try to do something and I can't do it right. So like, maybe I could just do a little scene where they're talking to each other, kind of okay. So so that's what we did. So it was it was supposed to be just one little scene from a bigger movie that does not exist, by the way.
Are there any plans to try and make it exist? 'Cause that was awesome. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you. I would love to, of course. I mean, I think I'm really into that genre. I mean, of course, I would love to do something like that, but it's just, between here and there, it's big space. We started at, I think, 7 p.m. and wrapped at 4 or 5 a.m.
So you got that all in one?
It was all in one night. Yeah.
That was the shooting of it.
Yeah.
But obviously you guys had 3D, CG, and post, and like.
Oh no, that was I think you're talking about the next one. That was like. Well, we were the one before that.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good.
Sword Masters? Were you guys?
Well, that's kind of how the whole project came about. Like, we actually had some guys. Like, one of the things I really kind of am proud about that movie is like the costumes and the actual weapons and stuff. To me, when I see a frame of the movie, it feels like it's fairly tangible. They feel like they could have existed. They were a little worn and stuff. So that all came from a group of people that we know. Who actually, like, that was their barn and that was their horse, and that was and they had the swords and they had the saddles and they had all that stuff. So it was fairly easy for us to go like we'd love to put all your resources into a little flick if it'd be cool. So they let us do it. So that's how we did it. So I mean, to give them Swordmaster credit at the very least, and what little, very very little swordplay there was in it, they kind of helped choreograph just a little bit.
I think the next film after that was Greenspan. With, Hello. Andrew's question.
Everyone for being patient with it. I know it was a giant movie compared to everything else here. And
sorry, introduce yourself.
My name is Philip Harvey. I make movies alongside my twin brother Kevin Harvey, who isn't always on camera, but he was for the Greenspan. And really, that movie was kind of like 3 guys running around in the forest with the camera. And the whole thing was sort of a fix it in post kind of mentality, which I don't recommend. So to answer your question, it took a very long time. I think from start to finish on the Greenspan, once the actual writing of it was all said and done with, it was probably about 3 years that it took to actually do everything. But that's like having zero budget and, you know, over the course of probably a summer and maybe a couple scenes even the following year, all in and around Seattle and through the state of Washington, even into Idaho, to do some filming for that kind of stuff. But the visual effects were definitely a tall order. Initially, it was only my brother doing it. That's kind of more his area, but it was clear that it was going to take so long that I kind of had to teach myself to do a lot of visual effects stuff as well.
How did you handle having actors looking at nothing? Like, did you develop any tricks for that?
There was usually a potato for trying to get some of the lighting and stuff right, but yeah, I don't know. I think everyone just got used to it a little bit, and when we're in the green screen studio, it's kind of like, well, you know, they're that tile right up there, so yeah, you just kind of try and make it work.
I have a quick question for you. You said 3 years it kind of took you to do that?
Yeah.
Did you find yourself like cutting to a certain point or getting to a certain point in the film, trying to finish it, doing all your stuff, and then realizing that you were growing as a filmmaker, like every couple months, and realizing that you want to like go back and change stuff?
And that's, I told Trin earlier that coming here and watching this tonight was kind of like going to a theater to watch your like 3rd grade dance recital. And so much of it had changed, even just through the course of doing all the special effects, that in some ways I look at it and it's like the effects and motion graphics and stuff are so far along compared to actually when we wrote the movie, and we have this extremely awkward length thing, because it was one of the first movies I made in Seattle, and it was kind of like 34 minutes, like we're gonna reinvent the whole genre, and like, you know, I was hoped that it would feel like less than that, but you know, nowadays I don't think I would write a movie that sits at such an awkward kind of intermediate thing. But yeah, to answer your question, we've come a hell of a long way
I
since
can imagine
that,
in 3
you know.
years, yeah. Especially if you're playing with it all the time.
Yeah, and it's like we shot the movie on a camera that was, you know, it was all right for 5 years ago or whatever, but by the time we're doing visual effects on it, it's like we're looking at such old, obsolete kind of footage and everything, and obsolete writing, obsolete production value. We actually have done a lot of networking since then, so yeah, it's kind of, it's, I wouldn't recommend it for people to draw a project out that long, because it's kind of, you know, it can be a weight on your shoulders and get in the way of the next things, you know, but we had to finish it.
No One Knows, which was the one with the horrible, horrible family and the creepy, creepy ending. And we've got one of the producers, Daniel Hoyos. Is that how you say
Yes,
that?
yeah.
To talk about that film. I don't even know what to ask about that one. That one's just, what? That was my response to it. What kind of responses have you gotten about that film?
Well, we actually played at Nifty last week, and we got someone in the audience, the right of us, laughed when the dress dropped, and that really was just made me really too nervous and tense. But besides that, we gotten really, really stellar reviews from Film Thread and London Film Review. They all give us 4 and 5 stars, so everyone's really loving the film. So the reviews have been stellar.
Has it been hard to live with it for so long?
We made the film, we shot it last August in Oklahoma, actually, not in Seattle. I flew out to Oklahoma because my director is from, Boone Thompson, is from Oklahoma, and our writer is actually from Iowa, so we got together and just a big eclectic mix of different people, and we flew out to Oklahoma. And originally, our 12-year-old, you see in there, Sammy Eisner, her parents didn't want her to do the film because it was very risque, and they didn't, and you know, the whole idea of child abuse. And we actually got her at the last minute because she came back and begged her parents, please let me do this. I really want to play this girl, and eventually it all worked out.
What was it like working with such young actors for such heavy material?
That was tough because, like I said, Sammy Eisner, for example, her parents wouldn't let her do the role, and we got her at the very last minute. And thank God, because we were looking at other actors and other little girls, and no one really had the look and the right, and she just knocked it out of the park the first time. And now she's off on audition for a pilot for NBC, so we're really lucky that we got her. So.
Was that? I hope I'm not asking a dumb question.
No,
but
go
like,
ahead. There's no dumb question.
At the end, was something happened to the boy? Like, that doesn't really matter to the story. It's just that he died with a secret. Was that really the message there, or was he dead the whole time? Or?
Well, the message really is that, like, Hannah will do anything to protect her father.
Oh, okay.
She killed him, right?
And so she killed him, yeah,
Oh,
but you don't see it. You just don't see it.
I must have missed something there, yeah.
Right, some people do.
And Will. And we have Andrew Mitrek, is that who you say?
That's right, yeah. Yes.
And Seth Essel West.
No. Close though. What's the last?
Damn it.
It's alright. It happens all the time.
Yeah. It's funny because I actually know you and I've just met Andrew for the first time. How did that come about? Like, that's one of those ones. Like, how did you get that idea?
I didn't get that idea. I was I found the script online. Actually, it's by a British screenwriter. His name's Robert J. Lee, and he actually just posted it on his blog. And I was kind of stumbled across it. And he has a blog called 2pagesaweek.com, and he posts 2-page screenplays every week. And he had a huge catalog of them. And I just kind of read through them all, looking for inspiration. And I ended up loving this idea. I thought it'd be really easy. I'm like, oh, this will be a good exercise. I could grab some friends, maybe hop on the light rail or something, and just shoot it there. But I found that was not so easy because it's you just can't control other passengers. It's a moving train. The sound is terrible, and also it's illegal to shoot on it. So there's that. Without getting a permit, that's very expensive. So yeah, we ended up building a set. So that's what you saw in the film, was a train set. And,
how did that come about?
Oh, that was a big process. We hired a production designer, and she stepped up to the plate. Her name's Sabrina Digert, and she basically built this set down at a studio in Georgetown. We built all the pieces to it, and it was really cheap because it was all fun. It was all like a $1,200 budget for the set to build a train. And so we only really built like 1/4 of one train cabin, and then like flipped it around for different shots and angles to make it seem like it was bigger, hopefully. And yeah, so we moved all the pieces of the set up to a studio in Mukilteo where we shot it. We projected some footage that I shot on the sounder train from outside the window. We projected that footage onto a white wall behind the glass, so hopefully it seemed like it was a moving area. And I thought it gave it kind of an old cinematic sort of look. Yeah, and that was a big process, but it got people really excited about the project because not many short films build a big set for a 5-minute movie. So people were like, oh, what's going on here? That sounds cool. And I'm like, oh yeah, we'll blow it up and break it and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I'm on board for that. It'll be fun.
Plus nobody does production.
Yeah.
You get to kill the actors. That's
Oh
the
yeah,
fun part.
totally fun. We have to make them uncomfortable and full of blood and stuff like that, and they're all having a good time doing that.
All right. Any other questions anyone would like to? Oh, I see a question in the back.
Was the music used in that? Was that written into this the script that you found on the blog, or was that somebody else?
That was my concept. I think I found it because it was written anonymously in like the 1800s or something. It's St. James Infirmary is the song, and it's like a classic blues song. And the recording was done in like 1928, and I just thought it gave it a strange, old-timey feel. Like, why is this girl listening to this song?
I thought that was really brilliant.
Oh, thanks. It was just a happy accident. And yeah, and the script, like I said, it was 2 pages a week. It's a 2-page script, and it was written kind of all in Cockney accents because it was a British writer. So we basically, throughout rehearsal, we just found whatever worked better with the actors and found places where things were missing, and basically added a whole ending onto it, and it fluctuated to like 10 pages, then back down to 5, and the final runtime for this was 6 minutes. So it was really fluctuating to seeing what worked and throwing stuff at it.
Would you have wanted to keep the Cockney accents if you could, or you were just like working with what you had, or did you want to change it to something more local?
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess the content of what they're saying really didn't change much. It was just working with stuff that I identified with more and the actors were more familiar with. It would have been a different movie if they had British accents. And I think it's something where if the British accents weren't pulled off right, it would have been a glaring error and it would have been kind of awkward. So I just wanted to avoid that.
I saw two hands at once.
Did you have to get approval from the writer?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Has the writer seen the film?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, yeah. I got his approval, and that was the first thing I did. Is I emailed him, "Can I do this?" And that's actually why he writes the blog. Is he encourages that, and I think it's a great thing. And if you're ever
What's
looking
the
for
name of the
ideas,
blog again?
it's called twopagesaweek.com, and I love giving him plugs because he's a great writer. So yeah, he has seen it, and he was to be humble, he was really impressed by it. A lot of I mean, as you can imagine, if he's not charging anybody to adapt his work, and so it is a lot of filmmakers who are just taking stuff and trying things out, and they aren't necessarily putting as much time or production value into those scripts. So I think it was kind of a surprise for him to see that.
There's another hand over here.
Actually, I was going to ask exactly the same question if you saw it, but I do have another question while we're at it. Since I'm how long did it take you to shoot that?
That's a good question. We actually shot it all in a day and a half, so probably, I'd say like 12 hours of rolling cameras. So we built the set, we built the set on a Friday evening, and then throughout the day on Saturday, then we started filming Saturday night, and then throughout most of the day on Sunday, and then we had to break windows and stuff like that, and trash it, and we had to clean up and get out of there by the end of Sunday.
There was a lot of set flops and continuity discussions and line stuff. That was fun.
Yeah.
What's fun?
No? I thought you had fun.
The rest of the project.
All right.
Any other questions before we get to go drink and go get out where there's fresh air? Yes.
I thought the acting on all of your films was really impressive, and it looked like it was local talent. Can you just talk about working with local actors here? And it looks like you have a whole row of people here that maybe there are people here who need to be introduced also.
I suppose that's
I'll have the donuts.
I can afford the point to get out from Oklahoma.
Well, I think it's great, and honestly, Tim, who plays Rykos in the Greenspan, does not. He had a whole lot of lines to rehearse, and that are really the point being we were not able to take full advantage of his acting abilities, and in some of our other projects, he's actually won a Best Actor award. But for the Greenspan, yeah, I do remember at least one point filming it where he actually, I think, said "you," like just improvisationally, and it was like, you can't say that because that's your one line for later on. But, yeah. So, but he did a great job, and he was a good sport about running around looking crazy.
Andrew,
Yeah.
do you want to jump on?
Yeah, I cast actors through, they were both alumni of the UW Drama Department, and we held rehearsals mostly from UW grads, and yeah, they were all great. I mean, also a lot of, since I only had 2 characters, there were a lot of great performances and through auditions that I didn't get to work with. So we do have Seattle has a really vibrant acting community, a lot of talent that's untapped, and I just want to work with everybody because there's so much talent in Seattle. I just worked with Hope and Jay again, a little short that I shot a couple weeks ago it's a romantic comedy about a man who falls in love with Bigfoot. And Jay got in a 7-foot Bigfoot costume and stuff like that, so that's pretty fun. But yeah, and looking forward to talking to more filmmakers and actors over drinks too.